Welcome to the Justice Room. Your life, your rights, your options. Experience and learn from discussions with legal professionals and other experts about the law, its challenges, and how it could affect you. Here at the Justice Room. Welcome to the Justice Room. Well, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, and you kind of sort of mentioned it already, which groups or prominent figures within the community have already endorsed you on for your candidacy?
Well, again, the one that I'm pretty excited about is Lawson Lamar. I think that when you're a criminal defense attorney, to have the state attorney endorsing you, that really says something. That tells folks that you're a person of character. You're not
Right.
someone that's going to do anything that's unethical or inappropriate. Mm-hmm. And really, his endorsement speaks for itself. It's phenomenal. I'm very blessed to have that. Recently, in terms of prominent folks in town that people would know of, John Morgan has agreed to endorse me. Mark Nejame is endorsing the campaign.
I'd say those are prominent figures, yeah.
Yeah, they're a little known around town.
Yeah, they are.
And a number of attorneys have endorsed me, but we're also fortunate that we've got business leaders that are endorsing me. I've got the owner of Sterling Sotheby Realty, who's been a prominent figure in town for many, many years from the Lake Mary Heathrow area, Roger Soderstrom, and a number of other folks that are slowly coming in.
Right.
Every day we've got a new endorsement or a new person that's coming in and lending their support. So it's been a really exciting process for me, having never gone through this before.
Well, and I have a question. It's way down here in my sheet somewhere, and I can't remember where I put it, but what has been some of the most positive and some of the not so positive experiences of being an attorney?
From the positive standpoint, I think it goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Really being fully engaged in the justice process is to me very meaningful. Mm-hmm. I've had an opportunity to have an impact on people's lives in a very direct and personal way, and for me that's very fulfilling. Okay. Growing up, that was something that I'd always thought about, but never knew how it would come to fruition. Yeah. And so, being directly involved in that process, it's been excellent. The difficulties, though, are that things don't always work the way they should. Right. Sometimes due to either individuals not comporting themselves in a way that they ought to, or circumstances being what they are. Justice isn't served, and that can be incredibly frustrating. And those are the circumstances and the people that you think about, right. And you think back upon. The individual that didn't get the treatment that they needed, or the treatment that they deserved through the process. Okay. And that's an ongoing frustration. And in fact, one of the things that motivated me to run for judge now was that I feel the call to serve in a greater capacity.
Yeah, it seems like you probably are looking at my next question. So, that was going to be a question I was just getting ready to ask you, but I wanted you to share with our audience a little bit about some of the things that you've done recently in the Central Florida community, that you've volunteered or that you've done to serve the Central Florida community.
Well, most recently, we're doing something called campaigning for a cause, and I thought that we're mobilizing people to help me run for office and hopefully win. Mm-hmm. Why not take the same folks and the same energy that's necessary to drive that, right, and direct it to a mutual cause? So, there may be an organization in town that could benefit from the people that are volunteering for me, volunteering for them too. So that's what campaigning for a cause is about. So we've slowly begun that process. We've done something for Big Brothers Big Sisters. They did a fundraiser not that long ago to help support their needs to help pair Big Brothers and Sisters with the kids that are in need.
Right, it's a great organization.
Went out yesterday to a Boys and Girls Club, and they were doing a computer lab, and they were teaching kids as young as 6 years old how to operate laptops. And these are at-risk youth that have never had access to computers before, now being taught a vital skill in our modern society. So interacting with those kids was a phenomenal experience. Over the years, I've done a number of things here and there. I've never sat on a board or championed myself as part of that process, but always behind the scenes. When Hurricane Katrina hit, my firm did a charity fundraiser for the Second Harvest Food Bank. We raised a few $1,000s to help, them to help feed folks that were, put out by the hurricanes. Volunteered for Teen Court over the years, Habitat for Humanity. There's a number of charities that we've done work for. I even took my little 6-year-old out to do some service work when Disney did their Day of Service promotion, and got my 6-year-old involved. So she's excited about doing some community service too.
Well, the next question I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to run through these a little quicker, but one question that I'm sure our audience would want to know is, why are you running for Seminole County Candidate Judge Group 5?
Well, this is, county court is the lowest level court that we have. And I felt that while I certainly have the qualifications to run for circuit judge, that this opportunity was the right opportunity. I believe in taking incremental steps. And, down the road, we'll see what the future holds. But this particular opportunity made sense. I live in Seminole County, and I have for 26 years. I'm a byproduct of the Seminole County public school systems. It's my home. I mean, it has been for many years. I just feel very close to the community, and I think that being able to serve in that capacity would be really meaningful, because when you talk about public service, that's one of the things that I loved about being a prosecutor. Getting underpaid, but being in a position to do something really meaningful for society. And I think that's really what called me to be a judge, and this particular position is one that I think is right up my alley and that I'm suited for.
So now, if you win the election for judge, what would you like to see accomplished once you win the candidacy?
Well, the first thing that I'd like to do is make sure that we have some type of more direct interaction with, I think, kids in schools. I don't know what the judges do now, and I'm not by any means critical of that.
Right.
But I think the more that people understand the process, the better we as a county and as a society can be. Not just consequences, but how it works. What do the folks do, and how can you maybe get involved in a way to help spread that a little bit?
Meaning that you would like to see the judges go and visit the classrooms?
Absolutely.
Okay. How much freedom do you think that a judicial candidate should have when expressing their views?
This is a point of frustration, I got to say. So I'll preface my answer with that. It's a point of frustration.
Okay.
At least we're told that we're very limited in what we can say, and I've abided by that because I don't want to run afoul of anything. But it's difficult when a stranger comes up to you and says, "Hey, Amir, you're running for county court judge. Why should I vote for you? What do you think about this position or this particular issue?" And you're not really free to talk about it.
And a lot of listeners don't really realize how I guess, closed-boxed you are when it comes to talking about your candidacy to the general public.
Absolutely. What they want, and in theory, it makes perfect sense. You want a judge to set aside their personal views and follow the law. I mean, ultimately, that's what you want.
Right.
You don't want someone that's going to go in there and say, well, I think this, and therefore I'm going to make this ruling because I don't agree with the law. That's not what you want in a judge. You don't want an activist on the bench.
Yeah.
But how do you distinguish yourself? And ultimately what it comes down to, I think, in this particular circumstance is the specific type of experience that the candidates have, and then what their background and temperament might be. But it is hard. I'd like to be able to speak more freely, but again, I understand why the constraints are there. So even I'm torn with how do I deal with this? And it comes down to just talking about, here's what I think I offer, and hopefully that's enough of an answer for the folks, because it's a nonpartisan race.
Right.
One of the first questions is, well, what party are you? Well, it doesn't matter. It's a nonpartisan race, and we're not allowed to tell you.
Right.
Yes. So people get frustrated by that.